What is up, guys? We're back at Jones Subwoofer Solutions. Got another amp on the dyno from Slapz Audio. This is their SCD3K.1. And don't quote me, but I believe this is like their budget amp or their least expensive amp. So we've got it on the bench today. We'll see what it does. 3,000 watts at 1 ohm. That's what it's rated. Just to show you guys real quick. Everyone said last time that these need like 4 times the inputs of any other amp. So I've got 2 runs of 2 watt, which is plenty. Should be able to give this thing like 1,000 amps if it needs it. So drop your guesses now. Let me know what you think this will do. We'll find out in just a minute. Catch you back on the bench. Alright guys, here we are on the dyno bench with the Slapz SCD3K. So we're going to start with certified, where the dyno will stop reading at 1% distortion or clipping. That will be our clean power rating. Then we'll do uncertified, where the dyno will keep reading even if there's distortion or clipping present. We're going to finish with dynamic, which is a burst or pulse track. It's a 40 hertz pulse tone. And we're going to start at 4 ohms, then we'll do 2 ohms, and we'll finish with 1 ohm. Let's get started, but before we do, I do want to point out one thing you guys might have noticed. The signal light, this bottom LED here on the dyno, is lit up. This amp seems to have some ghost signal running through it when there's no load. You'll see once I put a load on it, that light fades away and everything appears normal. But I might have to mitigate that as we go through these tests, because the dyno, there's times where it wants there to be no signal at all. It'll tell me to mute the signal and I can't. That noise or signal is always there. So we'll get right into it. We'll go into certified. 4 ohms. I'll be honest, I didn't look what this is rated besides the 3K rating, so I don't know what this will do at 4 ohms. We're at 14.95 volts starting. Here we go. Let's see what this does. The Slapz SCD3K, 4 ohms. Here we go. And we got 1,261 watts into 4 ohms. We dropped to 14.81 volts. Seems okay for a 3K. 2 ohms. We're at 14.91 volts starting. Again, I'm on my CMAX today, no charging, just floating on it. So here we go. Slapz 3K at 2 ohms, 14.91 volts starting. Here we go. And we got 2,101 watts into 2 ohms. We dropped to 14.7 volts that time. Looking okay. 1 ohm. We're at 14.85 volts starting. Looking for 3,000 watts on the Slapz SCD3K. Let's see if we get it. And just barely. We got 3,020 watts into 1 ohm, dropping to 14.59 volts. So that is all of the certified testing we're going to do. I'm going to try to exit this and quickly get into uncertified before that signal shows up. It takes like 10 seconds, I've noticed. All right, uncertified 4 ohms. We're back to 14.95 volts. CMAX has rebounded just a little bit. Let's see what we get. Uncertified, this will be into clipping, just a little bit of clipping or distortion. And we get a touch more, 1,294 watts into 4 ohms. We dropped to 14.79 volts. We will continue. 2 ohms uncertified. 14.89 volts starting. Here we go. And we got 2,197 watts into 2 ohms. We dropped to 14.64 volts. And 1 ohm. See if we get much more than 3,000. We're at 14.83 volts starting. Here we go, the SCD3K.1 from Slapz Audio. All right, we let it clip and it gained. It got 3,372 watts into 1 ohm, dropped to 14.4 volts. We're gonna roll right along. And we're gonna go into dynamic. We're gonna start at 4 ohms. And again, this is the burst track for dynamic power. It's a pulse track of 40 hertz. See what it does at 4 ohms. That's it. 1,290 watts into 4 ohms, dropping to 14.7 volts. We'll see what it does at 2 ohms. 14.8 volts starting. Here we go. All right, 2,289 watts into 2 ohms, dropping to 14.68 volts. And we'll continue with 1 ohm. Burst power into clipping at 1 ohm. We're at 14.8 volts. Here we go. And I let it eat there. 3,679 watts into 1 ohm. Dropped to 14.51 volts. So that is all the dyno testing I have. That's all I have on the dyno runs for now. Just a second, I'll put up the performance review. You can get a look inside the amp. Catch you guys back on the bench in a second. Alright guys, and here we are. Got the SCD3K opened up and on the bench. You guys can get a look inside of it. Looks like only these 2 transformers are glued down, the others aren't. But for a budget amp, I mean, it looks okay. Let's take a look at these end caps. Actually, I'm going to start on this other side. This is a very basic amp. You've got a left and right input. You've got your gain. The high pass is from 10 hertz to 80 hertz. The low pass is from 80 hertz to the ceiling. And you've got a 0 to 10 dB bass boost. I did not find the manual, I didn't look it up to see what frequency that bass boost is. Most of us are going to have that off anyway. It does come with a bass remote. I don't have it. This was loaned to me. I did not get the knob with it. And you have an on, clip, and protect light. On this side, you have what looks to be 1-aught power and ground, with the remote tucked in the middle there. and 10 gauge or so speaker outputs. One thing to note on these that I did not like is even your power terminals are Phillips. It's fine on the speaker terminals and the remote, honestly, but those grub screws on the power and ground, if this was my personal amp, I would replace those with Allen's. I do not like the Phillips. But that, I mean, you know, that's probably about the only gripe I have on this. So it did its rated power, and it's a cheap amp. So what more could you want, I suppose? Good job, Slapz Audio. I know you guys were calling me a hater on the last one, but look, I call it how I see it. The last amp did not make rated power. It was short, like almost 3,000 watts. This one made power. It made its rated power. So good job to Slapz. There it is. Let me know what you guys think of it. Let me know what you guys think of the video. Let me know what you guys want to see. Give me a thumbs up if you would. Hit the like button. Give me a share. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell so you know when I post a new video. Thank you guys. Be back next week. See you next time.